Welcome to Alberta Conservation Association's Harvest Your Own podcast, the resource for everything hunting, navigating through the field, the butcher shop, and the kitchen. Life is all about great food. Let's get started.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Brad Fenson, an avid outdoor enthusiast who has worked as a freelance journalist, photographer, and public speaker for over 3 decades. I have hunted, fished, and foraged all my life and hope to share my passion for the outdoors. Along the way, I want to encourage everyone to harvest wild proteins and enjoy the satisfaction of providing the next meal for your family. Our goal is to educate, entertain, and inspire individuals to get outdoors and create a connection between food, health, and your future meals. Welcome to Harvest Your Own. Today I have a very special guest. It's a young lady who has grown up in an outdoor family. I don't know her full background in terms of how she got started in hunting and stuff, but I'm sure we'll find out today. And I was introduced to her at the Wild Sheep Foundation Alberta dinner last year when I saw her receive an award for a bighorn she shot. So I would like to welcome Jewel Simpson to Harvest Your Own. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you today?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's late August. I'm not sure when this will air, but we're going to give a timeline to it just because it's a time of year when many people with similar interests are thinking about bighorn sheep. Have you been dreaming at all about getting back into the mountains?
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty excited to get to go along with my dad and see other people get their sheep.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because sheep hunting is tough work, and sometimes people go once and it's like, well, man, I don't know if I want to do that again, but it's more of a mental game, isn't it? Like if you tell yourself you can't do it, you won't. But if you dig in, it makes it a lot easier.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about Jewel. What are your interests? I'm guessing you still go to school. Just give us a little background.
I'm still in school.
Yep.
I like to play sports. I play all the school sports that I can get my hands on. I like riding my horses.
Horses sound like fun. I've never been able to do a sheep hunt with horses. What I say is I've got Shanks ponies, which are my legs. So I've done some trips with some pretty long trails and heavy packs, but they're still rewarding. I'm sure we'll get into some more information about the horses. I'm guessing you used them on your hunt?
A couple times, yeah.
Oh, good. Now, obviously, you grew up in a hunting family. I mean, there's the Simpsons are synonymous with sheep hunting, and I know your dad's got the bug. I've talked to him, and it's easy to identify people that think alike.
Yep.
Yeah. So, what is your history with the family and hunting? Did it come natural? Did you knew you were always going to be a hunter, or is it something that just came to you in recent years?
It's just always been around me growing up, so I just always wanted to do it. Like there was always hunters around and everyone else was always getting their tags and getting their game and stuff, and it just sparked my interest.
Yeah. Did you get out in the field at all as a young lady? Like before you were old enough to hunt, did you tag along and get out on other hunts? Yeah,
I was going on a lot of my dad's hunts when I was little.
Yeah. And what kind of hunts did you take part in?
I was on his doe hunt when I was really small, and a couple on my mom's hunts, like her bear. Both of her bears, I was there.
That sounds pretty impressive. Do you guys do any bird hunting or any other types of big game hunting?
Not bird hunting. No, we don't usually bird hunt.
It kind of interferes with sheep season a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a first world problem for some of us. So it sounds like you've stretched your legs in some pretty steep country.
Yeah.
You've been along on some other sheep hunts that most people would dream about.
Pretty fun going out with everybody.
Yes. And does wild game play a role in your family's meals and your lifestyle?
Oh, yeah, it always is.
Yeah.
Part of the dinner.
So you eat a lot of wild game at home?
Yeah.
Your family also hunt deer, elk, and stuff like that?
We have quite a bit of deer meat. Pretty much elk meat already. No.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
I really like moose meat.
Ah, there you go. I'd have to agree with you. I think it's got a little bit more flavor than everything else, and It's hard to go wrong with a moose steak.
Yeah.
Good. When did you start hunting?
Well, I turned 12, and then I went on my bear hunt, and that was my first hunt.
Okay.
So since I was 12, I've been hunting.
Excellent. And that was black bears in Alberta?
In Saskatchewan, actually.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what did you hunt it with? A rifle?
Yeah,
a bow?
My rifle, yeah.
Rifle, yeah. And what kind of rifle do you shoot? Do you know what caliber it is?
6.5 Creedmoor.
Oh, that's pretty popular these days, and it's a great option. It's low recoil, but it's got lots of bullet to get the job done. And maybe tell us a little bit about your bear hunt, what you experienced as a first-timer out there in the woods.
We got to sit in a blind that we made out of like branches and deadfall and all that. And there was a barrel of bait in front of us. From well, 80 yards.
Yep.
And we were just sitting there for hours waiting for bears to come in. And there was always some that would walk right across, right in front of us. It was really cool.
Yeah. Did you see it on your first outing, like for one day out, and you found bears right away?
Well, the first day we saw a bunch, but the second day was when I actually got my bear.
Excellent. And we were all composed. Or were you shaking lots and worried about shooting?
I was pretty worried about it, but it all worked out in the end.
I asked that question because a lot of people say, I'm scared to hunt. I don't know if I'll be able to keep my composure. I don't know what's going to happen when I see my first animal. I don't know how it's going to make me feel, but maybe you could tell us how you did it, how it made you feel.
I'm always a little bit nervous beforehand, but once you're done, it feels so good to know you did it.
Good. Maybe tell us a little bit about the shot and the hunt itself. How did it all occur?
So we were sitting in the blind, and then this giant female black bear comes in, and we just knew right away that was the one that we wanted. And in Saskatchewan, you have to shoot them in the neck. So around in the neck area.
Yep.
So that's where we had to shoot her, and that's how it went down. And it was a clean shot. It was pretty good.
Awesome. And then the work started. Did you help with the field chores that were required to get everything taken care of?
I don't usually skin it. Just so it's the taste is nice.
Yeah.
But I was always there when it happened. Yeah.
So you had lots of help, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the best way to learn sometimes, is to be able to watch people how to do it and get comfortable with it before you dig right in yourselves. It's funny because I did a podcast here with a gentleman that didn't start hunting till he was an adult, and he had never seen anybody hunt, been around it, or knew what to do if you harvested an animal. And he shot his first deer, and he was very nervous, but he opened up videos and watched them on his phone to figure out how to do it, and he actually got it done. But people like you and me, I consider to be lucky because we had great mentors, and it's usually people within our family that step right up to show us firsthand what to do.
Yeah, it's a lot better than having to figure it out on your own.
Yes, it certainly is.
This podcast is produced for Harvest Your Own, a program dedicated to those who want to reconnect with food and health through their experiences outdoors. HarvestYourOwn.ca is a resource for individuals to learn more about hunting and the outdoors. There's information to get you started and ensure that your compass stays pointed in the right direction to be successful. Where's your next meal coming from?
Let's jump right into sheep hunting. Sheep hunting is a passion for a lot of people. I think once you experience that unique wilderness and that setting and where sheep live, it gets into your blood, and you can never shake it. You always want to be back there somehow. So maybe, if you started as a young lady accompanying your mom and your dad on different hunts, and you've seen Dall sheep in the wild and bighorns, maybe you can just tell us a little bit about sheep country and what it means to you.
Well, I was super excited to get to go on my sheep hunt because I'd seen my dad come home with both of his sheep, and it just made me even more excited. Yeah. When I found out I got to do my own, it was really crazy. And I don't know, it's something that I've never done before, and I'm so happy that I got the opportunity to do it.
Yeah. Let's talk about that opportunity. I understand it was a special circumstance that you got the opportunity to do this hunt.
Yeah, my dad's friend got drawn for his sheep, and he didn't want to do it, and he didn't want to shoot another sheep. So he decided to pass it down to me, and then I got to use it.
That's pretty special. I mean,
Yeah.
dedicated sheep hunters usually long to be back out there and look for one more ram or the right ram. So I'd say you must feel like a pretty lucky lady.
Oh, yeah, I was really lucky.
Had you climbed many mountains before then?
Yeah, I've been on a bunch of hikes, but I don't think any of them were quite like that.
Tell us a little bit about that. Like, what's it like to go sheep hunting? Do you have to, prepare, or do you think you could just go out and do it any day you want?
I think you need to prepare quite a bit and have the right clothes because the weather's always changing. It gets really cold up there, and your mental preparation has to be pretty good because it's hard. And there's a lot of times where I was thinking, why am I doing this? But it was really fun.
Well, that's good.
It's something that I think it would be awesome for other people to get to do.
Well, I've got news for you. The way you felt is the way most adults feel, because I still feel that way some days. I'm like, I've dreamed about this all year, but what am I here? What am I doing? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, when the snow's up to your knees and you're so cold.
So was yours a late season hunt?
Yeah, it was.
It was. Tell us when you went.
The end of November.
Yeah, that's cool.
Was when I got to go.
Yep. And did you have to climb the mountains once, or were you there several days?
We climbed up the first day. Well, the first day we stayed in the valley and just glass.
Yep.
Then the second day we actually went up because we saw my ram.
Right.
And then he was able to bed down after the shot, and it was getting too dark to be able to get up there and be safe coming back down. So we had to go down and then go back up the next day.
Right. And everything worked out well.
Oh, yeah.
So when you were climbing the first time, obviously you were excited because you knew there was a sheep there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit easier. How was it the second day going back up?
It was a little harder wanting to go back up there because you'd done it already, and it was a long hike. But it also was so much more exciting because I knew my ram was up there and that I had already made that shot, and he was just waiting for me.
Yeah, sometimes that makes for long nights, doesn't it? Did you worry about it or rethink things or play it back in your mind at all?
Yeah, it was very hard to fall asleep that night, just knowing that he's just sitting there, and I was worried that some bird was going to come peck out his eye or something.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a good message because a lot of people, if you're in that type of situation, late season, deep snow, cold temperatures, and nightfall's coming, getting out and leaving it overnight is the best situation for all the people involved.
Mm-hmm.
And you went back in the next day and found your ram, and everything worked out well and proved that it was the best way to handle that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was it like when you finally got up to your ram?
It was like nothing I've ever had to do before. It was so crazy seeing all my practice and work pay off and seeing him there.
Yeah. Tell us what you did to practice for your sheep hunt.
I would go out every day and shoot my bow from 20 yards, 30 yards, and 40 yards at my target over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And all different weather, just preparing for everything.
And did you use your bow for your sheep hunt?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. I mean, that's an important message because that's a huge accomplishment. I've shot a couple bighorns and one with a bow, and I couldn't imagine myself doing it at 12 years old. Is that how old you were when you shot the ram?
I was 13.
13. Yeah, 13 or 14 or even 16. I couldn't imagine myself doing it. So that's a huge accomplishment. Maybe if you could just share some of those exciting moments about when you were getting close and how close you got and how it all unfolded.
It's just really cool to get to go over and take your pictures and hold up its head after you've been working so hard for it.
Yes, you definitely have to work for it. What happened the day of the hunt? Were you able to just walk right up and get a shot, or did you have to plan things out carefully and make a stalk and, draw your bow at the right time? Give us some of the details.
So we ended up getting 21 yards from this little pile of sheep, and he was in that pile. So we had to wait for him to pick up his head and turn broadside. But before that, you don't have to really sneak up on them.
They were running and they were preoccupied.
Yeah. So we got over there, and then it was pretty steep, so we had to get all situated and make sure that I wasn't going to slip or something, pat the snow down. And then I just drew my bow back once he was out of the way from anywhere else so I could make a clear shot.
Right. And you made the perfect shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all that counts. A lot of people don't understand how much goes into a late season bow hunt compared to early season. I shot my ram in late November with a bow too, and one of the biggest challenges was the landscape itself, because the mountain was like a big luge run. It was covered in ice, and I had to wear cleats or things to keep my traction. And when you say I had to be careful and get my footing before I could draw my bow, I know exactly what you mean. So it's pretty hard to practice for that at home, isn't it?
Yeah, it was definitely different from just shooting a target.
Did you feel any different, or were you at nice and calm when it was time to shoot? Or was it just like shooting a target?
It is like shooting the target. There's just more elements, and just have to make sure that you're not going to hit someone else in the way or something.
Yeah, I'm sure timing is important. And, when they are running, I don't know how many animals were in your particular herd, but it's almost distracting because you're trying to keep track of one and others are coming in front and they're circling around, and, the rams are jockeying and fighting and clashing horns. Yeah. It's all very exciting. It's almost like sitting in front of a big television.
Yeah. And I would say that's the adrenaline rush is different from just shooting a target.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's the hardest thing to control sometimes. Is it's one thing to go out and shoot a foam target or a 3D target, but it's another thing when you have a big ram in front of you and it's taken hours to get up there on the slope to get close enough for a shot. It definitely changes the game, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about the bow you're using.
Yeah, it's a Bowtech.
Okay. And how many pounds of weight were you pulling?
42.
42. I mean, again, an excellent story, because we've had lots of people on the show and lots of people send in questions about, if I start bow hunting and can only pull a minimum weight of 40 pounds or 42, which is just slightly over, can I be successful? What would your advice be?
Yeah, I think you can for sure. I mean, the more weight you have, the better, but if you can only pull back 42, it'll all work out.
Yeah, and
you practice with that too.
That's right. Practice is a big part of it, and being accurate no matter how much weight you draw is by far the most important. It's a little before your time, but I used to watch Fred Bear videos when I was a kid, and he shot everything with a stick bow, and he didn't even come close to the same amount of energy that you'd have in your bow with 42 pounds, and he hunted everything in North America. So I think having you on this particular episode will encourage lots of people to actually get out and try archery without worrying about how much weight or draw weight they're pulling. There's minimums that are set, but with modern equipment today, our bows are so efficient and our arrows transfer energy so well that we're light years ahead of what we had a couple decades ago. I think it makes it a lot easier for all of us.
Yeah. And when I started practicing on my bow, I wasn't just pulling back 42 pounds to start. I started at 20 and then would increase it whenever I felt ready.
Yeah, and I think that's important too. Your muscle memory and training your muscles to pull that bow are important. And don't expect to go out there and pull the maximum weight the first day you're out. You have to work yourself up to it, don't you?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So are you still active with your bow? Do you still shoot it regularly?
I shoot a little bit, but not a whole lot right now.
Right. Do you have any other plans for some other hunts?
Not me, but my sister's going out on an antelope hunt.
Yeah. She drew a tag in Alberta?
Yes.
Nice. And is that an archery hunt as well, or a firearms hunt?
She's going to have a firearm.
Do you consider her lucky, or are you glad you were able to do yours with a bow?
I'm happy I got to do mine with a bow. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty large milestone for yourself to set. What are your other hunting goals? What else would you like to do?
I would really like to get a moose one day.
Yeah, and have you been putting in for the draws, or have you got something in mind that you'd like to do?
Yeah, we have it in the draw.
Yeah. Somewhere in Alberta?
Yeah.
Somewhere close to home?
Yeah.
I asked the questions not wanting you to give up your secret little spot, but it's funny that in Alberta we're blessed because we have so much opportunity. You could put in almost anywhere and have a good moose hunt, but I think all of us know our critters around home a little better than we do at the far end of the province. So I think it's natural. It's natural to have a spot in your backyard, so to speak, that would be more appealing.
This podcast was made possible by Alberta Conservation Association and the Harvest Your Own community. If you're interested in harvesting your own food, there's a comprehensive collection of information to gain insight and knowledge. Head to the field, harvest your own protein, prepare it, and taste the results. HarvestYourOwn.ca is a library of information from getting started and geared up to processing, butchering, and cooking wild game to make the connection between health and food.
Any other goals? Are you just going to remain a sheep and a moose hunter, or are there other things you'd like to pursue?
I also think that it'd be cool to go on a cougar hunt and get my own cougar.
Yeah, I love your big dreams because I just fulfilled mine 2 years ago. I shot a big tomcat here in Alberta, and I loved the hunt. It was a lot of fun. It was hard work. At times I thought it was as tough as a sheep hunt. We ran through waist deep snow for about 8.5 kilometers and going over deadfall and stuff. And it was a lot of fun. And it's strange that everyone that's been over and tried the cougar meat absolutely loves it. And they couldn't believe that it could taste that good. Have you ever tried cougar?
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Not
tried
yet.
cougar before.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Actually, one of our friends, his wife doesn't hunt at all, and she's pretty particular about what types of meat she'll eat. But she came over to a wild game dinner we had here, and she said her all-time favorite is the mountain lion that we did up. So it's pretty encouraging to see people try new things, and whether it's in the woods hunting them or on your plate when it's time to try some different things. Again, in Alberta, we're pretty blessed to do a variety of different hunts and have the options.
Yeah.
So are you going along on any family hunts this year?
Not that I know of right now.
No one else
But
has?
I might get on with my sister's antelope hunt and
Yep.
see her do it.
Good. Yeah, might be worth taking your bow along if there's a general mule deer season out there,
Yeah.
or deer are just not as exciting as moose and sheep.
I think deer is still pretty fun to go out and do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I got one last year.
Oh, awesome. Whitetail or mule deer?
Mule deer.
Yep. Buck or doe?
It was a buck.
Nice. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Was that with your 6.5 again?
Yeah.
Nice. And Southern Alberta?
Yeah.
Yep. And how many days were you out?
We went out 4 days, and I kept getting calls to get pulled out of school, and the office would be like, "Oh, your mom's on the phone," and she'd be like, "Dad found a deer." And then I'd go out, and we'd be looking around for a little bit, and it was the second day that we saw one that we liked.
Yeah.
But then on the fourth day, we actually got one.
That's pretty sweet. I'm very thankful that my dad used to pull me out of school to go hunting as well. And there are some teachers that are listening that might cringe a little bit and not think it's a good thing. But I think it surpassed any education that I could have got in school and helped fuel my passion for the outdoors and wildlife management, conservation. Everything about the outdoors and the things that I appreciate started in those early years out in the field. So I think it's great that you have a family that will take you along and plan stuff with your siblings and bring you along and not be afraid to drag you out of school for a few days, because if you're like me, you probably buckled down to make sure your schoolwork was always done so that you could go on the next adventure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. School come pretty easy for you?
Yeah, pretty easy.
Well, that's good. That always makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to skip back to the sheep for a minute because that Sheep Foundation dinner, when they were giving out the awards, they give out awards for the oldest ram and the youngest hunter and stuff like that, the best guide. But when you received your award, what was it for particularly?
I got the Elvin Gwynn Youth Hunting Award and the largest archery ram award.
2 awards. That's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a fun night.
Yep. You know what I remember most about that night, because I was in the audience, is that there were several people on stage getting awards, but you got way more applause than anyone else. Did you notice that when you were on stage, or was it just the rest of us sitting back that were so excited to see you up there?
I was just pretty excited that I got to go up there. It was all kind of a blur.
You had an awful big smile on your face. It was pretty wonderful to see that moment, and most of us in the audience had a shiver go down our spine and a tickle to see that there is a hope for our future and the things that we love in the outdoors.
Yeah. It's pretty cool seeing a bunch of kids there too.
Absolutely. Yep. Now, Harvest Your Own is more about enjoying the outdoors and pursuing game and filling your freezer and how to prepare it. But tell us a few details about your sheep. How big was it?
It was 168. 168.
So, that'd be a great ram with a rifle, but to do it with a bow at 13 years of age, you inspire me to want to get back out. Now, did you have any meals from your sheep?
We gave some of it to our friends. Yeah, because they helped us.
Right. It's always a lot of work getting it off the mountain, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. More hands make the job a little bit lighter, and strong legs for sure. Strong legs and strong backs.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does it feel to harvest something and be able to share a meal with your family from what you've earned?
It's pretty cool because Dad was bring home his deer and stuff, and then that's what we had for supper, and it was really awesome that it was mine.
Oh, that's always a good feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you get your sheep mounted? Is it taxidermied?
Yes, we're in the process of getting it mounted.
And where's it going?
It's going to a local guy in town.
No, is it going to go in your bedroom or out where the family sheep are and where everyone can see it?
I think it's going to be in the living room with the other sheep.
Yeah, you got to share it, don't you?
Yeah.
Put it where everyone can see it and enjoy it.
Exactly.
Yeah. What advice would you have for any other young people or young ladies that are interested in getting into hunting or even pursuing something like a bighorn sheep?
I think that you need to practice a bunch and believe in yourself that you can do it. My mom always says, your body goes where your mind takes it. So you have to have your mental game ready.
I think that is incredible advice, and I might just name this episode after that. Yeah. Dad Chase is in the background. What did the hunt mean for you?
Honestly, it's probably one of the most special days of my life.
Yeah.
I harvested my ram in there on a late season draw, and I helped a few other guys in that same zone, and then getting to take Jewel in there was just, it was a dream come true.
Yeah, it is very special, and I commend you for making the time to make dreams happen, and sometimes it's even before people know they have those dreams that they occur.
Yeah, absolutely. Jewel worked hard and practiced so much all summer and getting ready and hiking and shooting and then even when we were there, just watching her climb the mountain and it's with the big old crampons and steep and cold and
yeah.
I think out of the 4 adults that were there helping, she was the one that complained the least.
Yeah, that's pretty inspirational. I commend you, Jewel. I think this is a great episode to encourage people to get out and don't put any inhibitions upon yourself. Like, you can do whatever you want, and your mom's advice is pretty profound, and I hope people take it to heart.
Yeah.
She's
our pep rally person.
Yeah. One last question for you. I like to add this one just for the Harvest Your Own crowd. What's your favorite wild game dinner? your meal? What's your favorite meal?
My mom makes moose meatloaf, and
Yes.
it is really good.
I love a good meatloaf. I call that comfort food.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing your story with me and with the Harvest Your Own listeners. And my dream would be to see you on stage again one day at the Wild Sheep Foundation dinner, to see that you've carried on with your hunting career and developed new dreams and made those come true as well.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks. We hope to inspire people to reconnect with nature and appreciate where your food comes from by harvesting your own. For more information on getting started or to learn specifics about the Field to Fork experience, visit harvestyourown.ca and follow on Facebook and Instagram. Check back often for new material, recipes, and videos that are posted regularly. Please subscribe to Harvest Your Own podcast and take the time to rate and review the show to help us build a dedicated core of passionate hunters as our regular audience. Until next time, embrace the outdoors and all it has to offer. Thanks for joining us.